Hi, hello, welcome back to another episode of Musings podcast. I'm your host Gungo Mildred, and I'm so happy that you've joined me again today. Welcome and welcome back. For those of you who have subscribed, thank you so much. For those who keep coming back to listen, thank you. I'm so grateful to you. Please continue and don't stop. So on today's episode, I wanted to muse about a person who came into my life a couple of years ago, and his reason for doing so was just to cause harm, I think, because there's no other way I can try and justify what he did. I call him El Bastardo, and on this episode, I'm going to actually just refer to him as El Bastardo. El Bastardo means the bastard. So, yeah, this man, I think he's just keeping up with last Saturday's episode as well, because I don't know, maybe it's just February and being Valentine's month or something. I don't know, because then it happens and then I remember all the men who have hurt me. Maybe, I don't know. maybe maybe that's why I shared what I shared last week, like what men want, and why I'm sharing about El Bastardo today. So El Bastardo, well, so a couple of years ago, I was working in this environment, and there were a couple of, different, should I say offices or work environments as well? Because if I use specifically, people might know where it is. And or just let me just, I don't know. It doesn't matter anyway. It's fine. I'll just say office. So I was working in this particular office, and you meet people all the time, and I'm not a person who goes to people and just says hi, or I'm not the kind of person who will say hi fast unless I'm coming to approach you and I'm going to talk to you about something. So I'll be like, excuse me, hello, blah 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 blah. But if not, kama tunafanya kazi pamoja or the same environment, or we're living in the same building kama hapa, if we meet on the corridors, I'll be like, hi, na tupitane. Sometimes I don't even, like, depend tu na mood yangu, alafu also the energy I'm reading from you and stuff like that. So I'm not the kind of person to do it, which goes against my Maragoli people, because anybody who knows about Maragolis, they love saying hi. Enda tu ushago, like Waluo wanapenda salamu kama sijui nini. Utasalimiwa mara 10, unaweza meet the same person 10 times in a day, and that person will still say hello all the 10 times they'll meet you. But mimi tu lakini nasemanga ni ya Mungu. So if you say hi to me, I'll say hi back. If you don't, then I don't feel like obligated to talk to you if I don't know you. Okay? So this person, I used to meet him on the corridors, and he would just be like, hello, and I'll be like, hello. Sometimes tukutane kwa lift, hi. Kwa stairs, hi. Na tunapitana. But I knew alikuwa anafanya kazi ofisi fulani. So, juu ni neighbor hapo, and you never know, you might need something. That's why I also say hi to my neighbors if I meet them, because you never know siku gani unazihitaji msaada from these people. So, I will say hi back. And then one day, I was going to the washrooms. I met him outside their office, and he was doing something. Kulikuwa na little accident that had happened. He was taking care of it. And so I say hi to him as I walk by, and he's like, hi. So nikaenda washroom, coming back, he stops me and he's like, hey, by the way, what do you deal with in your office? And I try to explain to him, and he's like, okay, is it okay if I come later and you can tell me more about it? And I'm like, okay. So I think I have to say that I had a little crush on him, because he was, I won't say my type per se, but he wasn't bad. Like, he was close to my type, because at that time nilikuwa nimeshinda nikiambiwa na my friends, like, you are too choosy, you keep choosing nini, like being picky about men, like just the one who comes across you, mwenye anakuja tu akukatia, can you just say yes, even just go for a date or something. So I was tired of hearing the same thing over and over again. So nikajiambia, okay, fine. The next time I'll meet a good guy, if he says hi, I'll entertain him. I'll try and listen, alafu nione mali tutaenda na hii story. So I was like, okay, sawa sawa. That time, wakiniambiwa, and then I met this guy. So I had a crush on him. He was tall. He had beautiful eyes. He had beautiful fingernails. Like, I love nails. I have good nails. I love well-kept nails. I love, like, nails as a I love, guy, we miss it. I just love a man who takes care of himself. So he had beautiful eyes. He had beautiful nails. He had, like, he was tall. He looked good. I won't lie, he looked good. So I used to have a crush on him. But so vile aliniambia, is it okay if I come to your office? I was like, yeah. So later that day, he finishes what he was doing and then he comes to my office. And the moment he said hello, the moment he started talking to me, the picture that came to my mind is one of my exes. An ex who had, I think I told his story when I talked about the people that I thought I loved, but I wasn't really in love with them, or the moments I thought I was in love, but I wasn't really, I don't know. It was some episodes back. So one of those men, like, he spoke to me and it reminded me of that ex. And I was like, oh, this one is the wrong person. And from the moment he said hi, nikaja tu, this one, no. Because if there's no way you're going to remind me of a terrible person in my life and you be any different from them. When you talk to me, I'd rather not think about any evil thing that has ever happened to me in my life. If I do, that is telling me you are also going to be evil. So from that moment, I just knew. But again, nimeambiwa I'm too choosy. So I was like trying to be open-minded and stuff. So nikajiambia, okay, calm down. Just listen to him. And then he continues talking and I'm looking at him and I'm like, oh no, no, no. But I'm like, Mildred, yes, give him a chance. And so I do. So we start talking, we start chatting. He texts me, he called me, nini. And then he invites me to his office. I also go and sit to kuongea hapo. And he's like, oh, there's a holiday coming up. Is it okay if I come and visit you? And I'm like, yeah, it's okay. So with me, when I start dating somebody, I prefer somebody comes to my home. If you're not meeting somewhere for coffee or something, I'd rather they come to my home because at least in my house, I can know how to deal with things. In my house, at least nitajua kama kuna any issue, I'll know, how to go about it. Ukijaribu become too much, I can ask you to leave. Ni kwetu, anaweza scream. Najua malivisu ziko naweza ficha unless umebeba yako. Like, I feel like if that person is wrong, I have a surviving chance. But pia najua mademu wengine useme don't allow them to come to your home because wakishajua mali unakaa they start stalking you and stuff. But kwetu get ufungwa and we have a very strict caretaker. So I usually am like, wacha akuje kwangu. So I'm like, okay, sawa. So I think it was the 20th of October. If I'm not mistaken. So the 20th of October he comes, it was a public holiday. And this man, amekuja kwa boda and it has rained. Ilikuwa imedrizzle kiasi. The moment he gets into my house, so I hug him and then akatoa kila kitu. Akabaki na vest na boxer. Because amenyeshewa. And I was like, okay. But he's trying to show me that he's comfortable around me. I don't want to make things weird. So I'm like, okay, sawa. Let me just, pretend like nothing is happening. So I sit opposite from him, tunaanza kupiga story, and we just talk and he's telling me all these things. So I'm trying to get to know him. I'm like, oh, so do you have a wife? Do you have a girlfriend? He's like, no. When was the last time you dated? He tells me 6 months ago. He had a girlfriend, but I'm like, okay, so what made you break up? He tells me, that he broke up with his ex-girlfriend, and I put girlfriend in quotes because this is a married man, but I don't know that at that time. So he tells me that he broke up with his girlfriend because kuna time she works in a bank and kuna time mamake, the man's mother, wanted some help at the bank. And so this man asked the wife to asaidie mamake. And the girlfriend asaidie mamake. But then the girlfriend ali mistreat the mom. alimwongelesha vibaya or something. There was just some mistreatment that went on and he didn't like it. And when he tried to talk to her about it, she became too defensive and he did not appreciate it. So he was like, anybody who can disrespect my mom cannot be a part of my life. And so they broke up. I'm like, okay, that I understand. And so, and he talked about it like it was nothing. It's like ni story alikuwa amerehearse over and over. So it sounded like something that was so real, but he was lying. And the thing with me is that if you're talking to me and you're lying, I have this sixth sense that will just tell me this person is lying to you. Kumbuka tayari ako on, ako kwa majimoto because of how he said hi to me and he reminded me of my ex. So tayari in my mind, ini kitu kidogo tu hivi nimcancel. But nile najiambia tu acha mpatie chance, don't judge him too much. But then he tells me that story and I look at him and I'm like, really? But I say, okay, sikuwa hapo, sijui, maybe it's true. I ask him a couple of other questions. So what are you looking for in a woman? Do you want a relationship that will last forever? Are you ready for commitment? Are you just dating around? He's like, no, I want a commitment. I want a girlfriend. I want somebody who can become my wife. And he is Muslim. So I'm like, you are Muslim and I'm Christian. Are you okay with that? And he's like, yeah. You don't, like my family does not have, you don't have to, inaitwanga nini ile kuasilimika, you don't have to change your religion and become Muslim. We can date and we can get married. You being Christian, me being Muslim, there's no problem with it. And I'm like, are you sure? And it's like, people do it nowadays. So it's not a really big deal. And I'm like, okay, sawa sawa. We talk about other things. Like I was asking regular date questions. Like, your first date, the questions I'm supposed to be asking. I asked every appropriate question. Tukakaa hapo na yeye, tukapiga story, getting to know each other. And then he leaves baadaye. And we're like, okay, sawa sawa. At least we have got it somewhere. Tumeongea nini. Because he tried to be, cute and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, no, not today. But yeah, so when he left, nikabaki nile feeling like this person is not being truthful. This person is not an honest person. This person is not real. This person, I don't trust him. Now, because I have his number, he had told me his age. At the time, I was in my late 20s. And then I ask him his age. He tells me he's also in his late 20s. When you have someone's number on your phone, on Facebook, you usually get like suggestions of people you might know. Nikapata, people you might know, jina yake ndo hiyo, picha yake ndo hiyo. I click on his profile and I go and check. Ile miaka ameandika hapo alizaliwa, the age that's on Facebook shows that he is in his early 20s, like almost mid-20s. I'm like, okay, so which one is true? The one on Facebook, because I know people fake that sometimes, or the one he told me. But how could you fake on Facebook? Because Facebook watu utakata waongeze ndio waweze kubalika kuingia, like they're over 18. So how could they have written less? So I'm like, that must be his age. But then with the business he's doing and because he's business savvy, so whatever he's doing, his motivation, his ambition, hakai mtu ako early 20s, But nowadays, bedhe watu wanachanuka mapema, so, and they have to look for money mapema. But still, I was like, so which one is true? The one on Facebook or him? And then I go and check the people he follows. I think I just checked his profile and the photos he had shared. He hadn't shared a lot. Ama maybe alikuwa amekele setting yenye only people who he follows can view his profile. I don't know. I don't really remember, but I didn't dwell so much on that. After I just checked his age, I was like, yeah, this person is just a liar. But then I moved on. So went back to work the next day after the holiday, and he's there. Story kama kawaida nini. One time he comes to my office and we kiss a little bit and stuff. And I'm like, okay. But then I still have this feeling like he's lying. So anyway, fast forward, December inafika. All this time we are talking, we are chatting. There's one time, was it that December? Or was it like the next year, January? I feel like it was that time, December. before I went for the holidays. So he called me at night. Actually, during the day, he tells me him and some other people from his workplace, they travel out of town for work, and they're on their way back, but watafika late. So they're going to Busia or something. So wanarudi, but they're going to come back late. And I'm like, okay. And he says like, okay, say says in the home because I don't even remember what excuse he gave me. Yo masaa itakuwa late sana kwenda kusema nifunguliwe, itakuwa shida nini nini. And I'm like, si ako na marafiki zake kwa hiyo gari. Why can't he just go to one of those guys' homes? And I ask him actually that question, and he tells me, watu wako na mabibi, sitaki kwenda kusumbua watu kwa nyumba zao. And I'm like, just to sleep for the night. And he's like, hey, come on, let me come and spend the night at yours. Nikabaki, okay. But of course, I'm not stupid. I'm a smart woman. So I'm like, of course, he just doesn't want to come and sleep. He's coming for alternative reasons. And I know this. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not really comfortable with doing that with him just yet. Because remember, I feel like he's lying to me. And eventually I got to know that he was lying to me. So hakuna vile ningekubali likakuja afanye what he intended to do. So anyway, he comes to my place, and later on, and I was supposed to go to work the next day. This man starts calling me at 3. Every hour, alikuwa ananipigia, saa 7, saa 8, and I'm asleep. I'm supposed to wake up at 5 a.m. to go to work. He calls me at 3 and he tells me, ako chini kwa gate. These people, his friends, have dropped him off kwa gate yetu. So I have to wake up, niende downstairs, nimfungulie gate. I come back upstairs, and it's at night. I'm supposed to be sleeping. He gets into my house and I'm like, okay, tomorrow you'll have to buy me a coffee at the office because the way I'm feeling, I'm tired. And he's like, okay, I'll do it. Don't worry, nini nini. So me, I get back to bed. I'm like, sleep. So lisa unataka kuja ulale, sleep. And I turn and I sleep. I try anyway to sleep. Of course, mwanaume ni nani? He starts saying, mkono wapi sijui, and I'm like, hey. There's no way you and I are going to do anything right now because remember, I'm tired. You kept me up all night, calling me every single hour, texting and everything. And I'm supposed to be waking up in 2 hours to go to work. So tafadhali, can you sleep? You said you wanted to come and sleep. Sleep. So I think vile nilimnyima whatever he intended to have, ndio the next day ofisi namuuza, so how about my coffee? This man kept telling me nakuja, nothing. And I left for work and left him in my house akilala. Mimi nikaenda ofisi. When he came, namsikia akiongea huko nje, so I know it's him. Lakini he tells me nini, I don't remember what he told me about the coffee. I don't even remember what he said. But long story short, he did not buy the coffee. Nikasema, okay, sawa. Nimejifunza. Me once bitten, twice shy. Like the moment umenionyesha what type of person you are, I believe you. Hata kama tulikuwa by mistake, I'll believe you. You show me who you are and I'll believe you. I will not make excuses for you. I will believe you. And he showed me. You can't buy me a cup of coffee. Seriously. And I knew why he didn't. I knew why. So I was like, okay, sawa. I come back home in the evening, napata kwa meza yangu ya kupikia, that man left 70 shillings over there. And I'm like, hii 70 bob aliacha hapa ya nini? So I carry it and I go to work with it, namuita. Namwambia, actually I think that was in January. Yeah, it wasn't in December. Because by the time I was going for Christmas, we were still in good terms. Speaking terms, we were friendly, we were still, kissing every once in a while. I still hadn't met his wife and I hadn't known that he's married. Bado nilikuwa namshuku, but sikuwa like nimeiweka kwa kile he has a wife. So yeah, I think it was because I went for Christmas in the village. Then I came back. Yeah. So this was in January after I came back. I think now alikuwa amejiambia sinishampatia time. We started talking in October, November, December. This is January. It's time for her to give me the goods. Like it was a long con or something. So I come back. Yeah. I remember. So napata hiyo 70 bob. The next day in our job, simuni. So I tried to call him. I think he didn't answer. By that time, I don't know why, I never wanted to call him in the evening. I never wanted to call him in the evening. I don't know why. I was that type of person since my ex in the other story, since he had behaved the way he had behaved with me, I had this thing in my mind like, kama ni jioni, you text me, I'll text you back. You call me, I'll call you back. But I will not be the one to call you first in the evening. Because taki nikupigia and men lie. Men are liars. Nikupigie jioni mwanamke ashike simu aseme, unataka nini na bwana yangu? I'm not interested. So if you are really single, ukifika nyumbani you want to talk to me in the evening, you call me. Na nikisikia kuna eko ya choo ndani mali unaongelelea, every time I'll be like, hey, mbona unaniongeleshanga kwa choo kila siku? So we never used to speak in the evening. And for some reason, I never texted him on WhatsApp or something. I think we texted on WhatsApp at the beginning, back in October. Alafu ikaisha. Like, I don't know. So you will text me on my, like, messages. And I think he will do that so that he can delete his messages or something. But I never saw his DP on WhatsApp. Because I never checked, because we never chatted really on WhatsApp. So, naenda na knock ofisi yao, I find a lady at the reception, and something tells me this is his wife. Believe it or not, I was not wrong. So I say, hi, is so-and-so in? And she tells me, yeah, he's in. No, actually, she tells me, no, he's not in. And I'm like, okay, I work in the other office, so when he comes around, could you please tell him to come and see me? And she's like, okay. And then I walk away. And while going to my office, I'm just like, yeah, oh my God, that's his wife. And she's so pretty. She's so pretty. And I'm like, wanaume. And then I just go to my office, me and Elia. Then he comes to my office like, hey, sasa, nimeambu natafuta. Nikamwambia, yeah, you left your money at my house. Your pesa chukua. Ati really? Umenitia 70 bob. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, you refuse to buy me coffee ya 150. Then afika kwangu napata umeniachia hapo 70 bob. Seriously. I'm like, just take it. He didn't. He was like, hii sipo. Unanitia 70 bob. I remember I put it in that same location. Ilika hapo until when I was leaving that place. Ndio, I think I put it na pesa zingine za petty cash. Nilichukua pesa ya ofisi. Na hiyo yake nikeka kwa petty cash. I was like, I'm not touching that money for anything. I'm not using it for fare or for whatever. I'm not using his money. So I think nili exchange na petty cash or something. Ama nilikuwa nimetumia petty cash and then ilikuwa na hiyo less 70 nikachukua hiyo nikaeka huko because I was like, I'm not using it. So anyway, in short, I never spent his money at all. Like hata bob. Ever. Hata shilingi moja sikuitumia yake. But anyway. So after that, the lady now, I start seeing her everywhere. So I'm going to the bathroom, she's around there. I'm going to going home, she's in the lift and she's saying hi. Alianza tu kunisalimia. Every time we would meet, she would say hi. Time fulani hapo naenda washrooms and I meet them together, karibu na stairs, na zilikuwa on your way to the bathroom. So it's just like, hello. Alafu another time I met them at the same spot, but she was facing the other side, akiongea na simu. Nikamgonga huku kwa magoti, like kile, I don't know how to describe it, like where your knee bends. I hit him there, so he was like, knee zake zikabend. And the way he turned around and looked at me, I was like, yeah. Because he was like, what did you just do in front of my wife? Like his face was saying that. But I was like, I don't care. Because I don't want to hurt her, but you, Mr. Man. What would have happened if I would have given myself to you the day you came to my place and spent the night? Even the one time you came to my place, hiyo siku ya holiday, what would have happened if I would have done that? What would have happened if I would have been emotionally attached to you? Because by that time, we got to Mongolia for 3 months, October, November, December, this is January. So what would have happened if I would have fallen in love with him? Because I kept him at an arm's length. Because again, as I said, he reminded me of my ex. And even though I was trying to give him a chance, everything he used to say, I just used to feel like he was lying. And by the way, by this time, I had already changed his number. like his name as I had saved him, because at first nilimsave kama jina yake, then kuna vile alikuwa na behave through that, October, November, December, this way he used to behave. And even by December, by the time I was going on break, I had changed his name from his name to El Bastardo. I had saved him on my phone as El Bastardo. Now, that time comes, so I see them everywhere together, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's the wife. So one day, I'm at the office and the wife comes into my office. And she's like, hey, sasa, nani ametoka na simu zenye ziko na do. So, unaweza na simu yangu iko na shida, sijui receiver iko na nini, siwezi msikia vizuri tukiongea. Unaweza mpigia, niongee na yeye, nimwambie about the money. He can even send it to your phone and then you can withdraw for us or something. I look at her and of course, again, I'm not stupid. I'm like, ametaka kuja aone kama tuna messages, kama tuna nini. Uzuri, I don't know if I deleted them already. Ama nini. Because again, he was behaving shady. So the moment I deleted his name and changed it to El Bastardo, I wasn't saving any of his messages. By the time nilikuwa na behave ni kama I'm cheating. So like we will chat and then I delete them. Zilikuwa hapo ni ile tu yenye he never said anything romantic or anything. Ndo zilikuwa kwa simu or something. I don't even remember what was on my phone and what wasn't. What I know is that his name was no longer his name. It was El Bastardo. So akiniambia na back, unajua mimi hata tuongeangi sana, so I don't know, let me just check if he's going to answer the phone, because we are friends, but friends were hapa job. See friends like we talk when we're outside work. So I don't know if he's going to even trust to send me the money to help you guys, but let's see. So namwongelesha hivyo na niko kwa simu yangu. I'm trying to change his name back. Okay. But my phone does this thing where if I had saved you, let's say as what name can I use? Let's say if I saved your name as Ben and then I delete it and save you as Elvis. If I want to delete it and go back to saving you as Ben, it will refuse and it will stick at Elvis. Hope you understand. So I had deleted the way I'd saved his name and written El Bastardo. So now trying to delete El Bastardo and save it back to his name, it was refusing. So I will try and delete and write his name and then save, go back. When I try to go to his name, it's still the same, El Bastardo. So I'm like, guy, nitafanya nini. Then I called him and he did not pick up. And God was on my side. He did not pick up. And so I'm like, okay, ashiki simu, so I don't know. I told you, we don't usually talk when we're not at work. And she says, okay, tell her, okay, why don't you go back to your office? And then if he calls, I'll tell you, let me text him and tell him. So I text him and I'm like, hey, somebody from your office was here. They're asking about something. Could you call them back? And at this time she has left. The bastard calls and he starts yelling at me. Like, what did you just tell me? What is that? Who is asking you to call me using your phone? And I'm like, she said her name is so-and-so. She was here. She wanted me to help them. They're saying their phone, blah, blah, blah. And he started yelling at me. And I'm like, hey. I'm trying to do a favor for your office. Do not dare yell at me. And said, but no, I hung up. Because I've told you before in a previous episode, don't shout at me on the phone. Like, don't do it. I do not care who you are. I will hang up. And I know they say, oh, customer service, nini. Be polite, be nice. I'll be nice if you're being nice. But my mental health, my mental state, it does not take it. Like, I cannot just sit there and listen to you insulting me on the phone or yelling at me on the phone. And me, I'm just sitting there pretty, being like, okay, wacha agombane akimaliza aache. Unless I know I'm on the wrong. If I'm on the wrong, fine. But who you? Ananishautia because I was trying to help somebody from the office. Because believe me, as even I say this, I'm the one who's suspecting she's the wife, but sijakuwa na confirmation yoyote. So, but the way she behaved you time, nikajiambia hapa, I am right. She is the wife. And so I hung up on the bastard and he texted me and he's like, I'm sorry. And then he calls again and I'm like, you should never yell at me. Don't ever shout at me, ever. Because especially if I'm trying to help your people, like I didn't go to them and ask them if I should help them. They came to me. So yeye kushauti yake ilikuwa panic before, because it's the wife. The name I gave him, it's the wife's name. So he was in shock, like, what? And I think he knew amepatikana. So I was like, akaniambia ende waambie watumie simu ya mtu fulani fulani fulani, and then I'll help them through that. Wasikukujie wewe, you don't work in that office, they shouldn't use your phone. And so I go to her and I'm like, hey, sasa amepiga after umetoka and he has said this and this and this and this, and she's like, okay, sawa, thanks. I go back to my office. Now she's becoming friendlier. Every time she's coming to my office and she's like, hey, sasa, kwenyu kuna kapoa, kuko peaceful, nini, like all the time. Every other day she comes. Tukikutana naye kwa corridor, hi, mambo. Kwa lift, she was so friendly. And I repeat, this lady was so pretty. Like, if I was a guy, I would definitely have hit on her because she is pretty. Afu imagine wanaume, like previous episode, what do men want? Because how do you have such a beautiful woman in your home and you're still messing around out there? So anyway, fast forward. Okay, so at the offices tulikuwa na vifungu za lu. So yao ilikuwa imepotea, I think within the first week tulipewa. So they used to use mine. They will come and borrow ours and then they go and use it. So the guy used to come a lot kuomba, and I will give him, alikuwa anakuja kuombea ofisi yao. So sometimes he will come, sometimes she will come. Mi ningepeana tu, as long as once they finish inaletwa. Kuna time the lady took akakaa nayo like the whole day, until when I wanted to go to the washroom, that's when I had to go and borrow it back. I was like, really, don't do that. So anyway, that's not here nor there. But anyway, fast forward towards, I think, the end of January, because it wasn't yet in Feb. I think it was towards the end of January. So niko kwa ofisi, it's in the afternoon. The lady comes, kanoka kaingia, akakaa chini, and she just starts talking. And she tells me how her husband loves her, how her husband loves her child, how her husband bought her a phone, and she's showing me like I don't know what type of phone it was, but it wasn't like an Apple phone or anything. It was just a regular phone, easy Android phone, but it was nice anyway. It was new. And she shows me how he bought her a phone. She tells me that her husband never wants her to go like to even her mom's place. And in my head, I'm like, yo, ataki wende kwa mamako, because when you're at your mom's, kwa mamake ni Nairobi bado, when you are there, hajui mali uko, mnaweza toka na mamako mkutane kwa kona fulani akifanya vituko zake na wanawake wengine. That's why he's keeping tabs on you. That's not love, man. Oh, anapenda. Like hata nikisema tu nini nikatembele marafiki, he's always, I'm like, that's a narcissist. And that's like, he's just not good. Like, so like she tells me all these things. She's trying to make him seem like the best man on earth, the best dad. That was the time that I was also finding out that he's a dad. I didn't know. And he's like, kwani ujeona mtoto wake? Nini mtoto wetu? Na baki mtoto wenyu? I was like, yeah, you're friends with my husband. I'm like, who is your husband? Oh, God, forgive. I'm like, who's your husband? Because I really needed for her to say it. So she tells me, so and so. When you don't know that he's married and he has a kid, I'm like, no, I told you before, we are not that kind of friends. We only talk ile tu ya salamu mnani, because our offices are next to each other. Nikitaka change neza kuja hapo kwenyu, nikitaka nini, like we don't talk. Outside of work, we don't. We are not that kinds of friends. So I don't know about him being married and having a kid. And I tujiona kwa DP yake, baki DP, yeah, what's up? Baki, I don't know. We don't chat on WhatsApp, so I've never like checked. So I know that he has a daughter, and this is the wife. So as she talks, akimsifu, akisema my husband, namwangalia namhurumia. And I hated that feeling. I hated feeling pity for another woman because of what a bastard was doing to her. This man has made this woman feel like she has to come and defend her home to me. Defend her marriage to me. She wasn't rude about it. Yeye alikuwa ananipigia tu stories za bwanake. My husband this, naambia, hey, mimi kana mtu kama huyu. Hata na control aje. Kama mimi ni mtu wezi niambia nikose kwenda kwa nyanyangu. Kwa nyanyangu. Aniambie nikose kwenda kumuona. Unless aniambie saizi sina hiyo doa ama nini, ngojea tutaendanisha pamoja, maybe that. Lakini unaambia tu no, you're not going. Mimi siwezi kaa na mtu kama huyo. Atalifanya? Mimi hiyo hapana. Hiyo mimi mi kuna vitu zingine siwezi take. I think that's why I'm single. So I was just like telling her, mimi no, 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 no. But anyway, whatever she was saying truly, it's not even like I'm just trying to, redirect her thoughts or whatever. Honestly, whatever she was saying about that man, he's a narcissistic prick. And there was no way I would have ever had a relationship, like a full-on relationship with him. Because everything she was describing was just like ringing alarm bells in my head. And I'm like, no, that's not the right man. That's not the kind of man I would want. Like, no, 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 no. Everything you're saying is wrong. This is the wrong man. Like, nae haoni. Ya namsifia naongea. Anyway, akaongea my husband. And she was done. I was like, okay. You enjoy your life. Ni poa. Kama kubaya simu hiyo ni vizuri sana. At least hiyo imeonyesha he cares. The previous time alikuwa ameniambia her phone was broken, so sasa amekuja ameniambia amembaia simu. My husband amenunulia simu. Nye. And I'm like, okay, that's good. That's good for you. So she continues talking until she's done, and then she leaves. I take my phone and I call one of my friends, and I'm like, you were telling me to have an open mind. You remember when I told you I met this woman and I felt like she was the wife? She is the wife. Like, she was just here telling me all these stories about, my husband. And apparently, they also have a daughter. So what was he thinking? Like, huyu mwanaume aliniona nikipita kwa hii corridor, akona wacha niharibie huyu mwanamke maisha. Again, what would have happened if I would have been emotionally attached to him? What would have happened to me if I would have fallen in love with him? Hizi miezi 3 tulikuwa tumeongea. Like, what would have happened to me? And he just didn't care. Because he has put his wife in such a situation that she has to come and defend her marriage, her home. She feels like, rather, that she has to come and defend her home, her marriage. Like, for what purpose? And this man is a bastard doing all these things. And I'm not the only woman that he was trying to cheat on, on the wife with. I'm just one of them. So anyway, she leaves. I talk to my friend. Life moves on. I think the next day, I'm at work because I was like, should I just confront him? What should I tell him? And I was like, he's not worth it. But then I have to say something so that he can know that I know. So the next day he comes for the key, Yalu. And the moment he comes, he peeks his head on my door, and is like, so the next day he comes, he's like, hi, mambo, and he's all bubbly, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I give it to him, and then he leaves. He looks at me like, what's up? He goes, because I wasn't smiling, I wasn't like the way I usually receive him. He goes, and then he brings it back, and he hands it over, and I'm like, I point at the table, I'm like, ikele hapo. And he's like, what's happening? Nini mbaya, umenijamia? Utaki kuongea? And I'm like, I don't talk to married men. And the look on his face, the shock on his face, it was worth everything. Because the shock, like, he was shocked. I love that look. Like, Vlaliniangalia, like, what? How did you find out? He didn't even say another word. He turned around, walked out, and locked the door. I was like, yes, girl, yes. Because it was worth everything. That look of horror on his face, it was worth everything. I was like, man, seriously. So he leaves and he goes, and after that, we don't really talk. But because, again, our offices were around each other, so we would have to talk every once in a while. But ilikuwa only because your stories are the work environment, never about personal things or whatever. But then he goes and does something that men usually do. Another friend of his, somebody else who worked in the same office, I used to just say hi to, tunapiga story, jokes tu kwa corridor tukikutana and stuff, na muenjoy and stuff like that, because he shared one of my brother's names. So I remember even the first time he told me, and I was like, yeah, I have a brother who has that name. And so ndo tukaanza kuwa na urafiki. So me, I always took him as a brother. So 1 week after that incident, so this man now, the bastard's friend, he was on his honeymoon when this incident was happening. So he comes back from his honeymoon, and I think this bastard, ile kutaka kujionyesha like he's a man, alikonka, alifanya nini, like huyo nishampitia au jaribu. He goes and tells his friend whatever he did. So one day, I'm coming from the washroom, ndio niende nitoke, and this man calls me to their office. He was at their reception, and I go there, and he tells me like, hey, by the way, unaishigi wapi? And he knows this information because we have discussed it before. I'm like, Kasarani. Oh, Kasarani kuna manyumba poa. Naweza kuja kutembea huko kwako siku moja nione. And I'm like, the hell? The hell? Seriously? And I'm like, so kwenye tu Kasarani utembee tu uone kama unataka a place. Juu Kasarani ni kubwa, nataka Kasarani side gani nyumba, like which area do you want? So can you can go and check. Like, no, but I was thinking I come to your place and then you can show me around. This man has just come from his honeymoon. Because it was a Monday. That Monday was the first time he was coming back to work after his honeymoon. Make it make sense. Because I don't know what that bastard went and told him. Because they were friends, I know this. So ama ile time alikuwa nao kwa ile trip maybe, and he dropped him. He's the one who drove, and he dropped him at my place. So he was like, oh, so he amekuja, amevent, amecomplain, blah, blah, blah. And now he's also trying his chance. You are just from your honeymoon. I was shocked. I was livid. Because I was like, do I have a halo on my head that is written, men try me, men try me, men try me. I'm available for every scumbag, for every bastard? Like, what have I ever done that men wanaangalia wanabaki, oh, huyu amekuwa na nani, so pia sisi tunaweza mjaribu. They don't know me. We only see each other at the work environment, and they are doing this because of what? Because I allowed their friend to come and sleep in my house. And of course, I'm sure when he went to them, he didn't tell them that nothing happened. He told them definitely something happened. And so vile nilimwambia, I don't speak to married men. Maybe he went and told him I don't know what. And so huyu akamwambia, jaribu bahati yako uone. But hata kama umeambiwa hivyo, umetoka honeymoon yako. And guess what? The wife is my namesake, Mildred. The wife works in the same environment. Hii ndio ujue tu wanaume wote ni mabastards. Because who does that? Who does that? Like, nani anakaa tu hivi anafikiria, let me do this stupid thing just to see how it goes. So I was like, no, kwangu spendi wageni. And it said like, kwa nini? Simtaka mtu to chill. Tungamia, no, kwangu staki wageni. And then I locked the door and walked out. From then alikuwa naogopa kunisalimia, but me whenever I met him I would say hi. Ndio ajue like, yeah. Vitu zingine, just don't do stupid things and expect there to not be any consequences. Because who does that? Why? Why would you do that? But anyway, that was the story of the bastard and his friend and the wife of the bastard, who is a very pretty woman who I pitied so badly. And I said, Mungu asaineka in that position where I have to pity. Like somebody else has to pity me, like aki woye bibi anachezwa. Because that was not even the end. So in February, somewhere in February, I'm like, let me go to these dating sites and see. Because I usually go on dating sites every once in a while, chat with people for a while, and then I just leave. So I join a dating site, and guess who I see on the people near me? Yeah, you guessed right. The bastard. Because I joined the dating site on that, like the work environment, and it was, tuko sisi wote hiyo maeneo. So the people around me, of course, itaonyesha everybody around me mwenye ako kwa hiyo dating site. And that man, the bastard, was on that dating site. And I was like, aki mama nani unachezwa, mtoto wa watu, mrembo wa wenyewe, mrembo wa mamake, unachezwa. This man was trying to date me. He wanted to make me his mistress. And he also is on a dating site. This woman, this beautiful, lovely woman, I should say, comes to me because she's feeling, of course, women have a sixth sense. So, of course, she was feeling some type of way. So she comes to me and tries to talk because, as I said, she was never rude, not even once. She was so lovely, so soft spoken. Like alikuwa anaonyesha tu ni kama ni beshte yake, tumekuwa mabeshte. And she was telling me all of these things. I mean, trying to protect her family while the bastard is also on a dating site. So nabaki hata kama uko na mfanyikazi, maybe he's going with her. If you have friends, maybe he has also hit on her friends. Because I've heard of men who hit on, like the wife's friends in a ruin friendships and stuff. And he is, because he's a narcissist, he tells the wife, no, beshte yako ndo alikuwa ananitaka. So the wife anakasirikia, the friend wanakosana until he realizes later in the future that, huyo mwanaume, it wasn't just that friend, it was other women as well. But by then it's too late. Maybe they go back and they become friends again, but still. Like, what do men do? Why do men do that? Why do men want? I still ask. But anyway, tangu hiyo siku tu, I never spoke to him again, as I said, unless it was about work. And yeah, I would just meet him on the corridor, walk past him like nothing. And he would look at me like, try and stare me down. Mi akiniangalia nakuwa namwangalia. Like, yeah, utasema? Utafanya? I don't care. But the wife was always so lovely. Hey, me, like, sasa mambo, akiwa unakaa smart leo, hiyo perfume yako inanukia poa. We became friends with the wife. Well, friendly, not friends, because we never spoke outside of that place. We never took each other's numbers or anything. But we never would meet. She'll be so lovely and saying hi, complimenting me. Hata tunakutana nao akiwa wote pamoja kwa lift. And she's just talking to me, being nice and being all of this. And I would look at her, but then my peripheral view, I would see him and his reaction, and he's looking at me, and then he's turning to his wife and he's like, watu wamekuwa marafiki aje. Like, but that is what women should do, actually. When you hear that your man is seeing another woman, even if you want to confront that other woman, come from a place of, this is my husband, a friendly place. So with the way you are talking to the other woman knows, oh, so we're sharing a man. Ama you just ask outright, because again, it's a two outright nigabaki tu. No, because again, me telling her the truth, ningekuwa namwambia for whose benefit. Unaona? Ningemwambia ndio inisaidie mimi, would I be seeking revenge on the guy, or what really would I have been telling her the truth for? Because at the end of the day, she will be hurt, her child will be hurt, and for what? For a bastard like him. So no, I won't hurt another woman because, I'm trying to seek revenge on the man or something. So yeah, ilikuwa tu ujinga. But yeah, that is the bastard story, and his wife and the friend, who's I think bastard 2.0, because that is just stupid. I think I wrote that story as well on miliana30.wordpress.com. That is where I write stories. So if you want to read something, you can go and read it there. I wrote it. It's one of the fast stories. It's called El Bastardo. So you can go and read it there. So, and maybe just have a feel for it, because ilikuwa ujinga sana. For like what he did was very, very stupid. But yeah, it's right there. You can read it there, or you can just listen. Remember, when you listen, you can comment. Tell me if you've ever had somebody like that who just saw you and thought, yeah, I should mess this person's life. Or if you're the wife who mwenye alikuwa cheated on and you had to go and confront somebody else's child because of your man's stupidity, your man's selfishness, tell me on the comments down below. You can DM me on Mimi's Musings Podcast on Instagram, or you can comment down below. You can also text me on my WhatsApp if you have my number. You can comment on Facebook, because I usually put a post over there whenever I upload a video. And while you're doing that, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Please hit the bell for notifications so that you can get to view the video as the first person whenever it comes. And please I think I should say this: whenever you come and watch the videos or listen, could you please like it as well? Because that helps with the traction. Tafadhali. If you don't even want to comment, just leave a like. That is much more. Like it does a little bit more for me. It helps with the algorithm. So please, 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 when you listen, remember to just like. Even if you don't want, if you've already subscribed and you come and listen, please remember to like. Usitoke tu uache hivyo. So right now, if you're listening to this as I'm talking right now, please remember kubonyeza like. Okay? And don't forget to always be here every week. Whenever I upload something, please be here. And as if you've noticed, on Wednesdays I'm putting up shorts for now, and then on Saturdays that's when we're having the podcast, the full podcast. For now, that is what we're going to be doing for now. And then in the future, yeah, maybe I'll go back to posting like a whole show for you, but I'm trying to think of something different to be putting up on Wednesdays, and maybe from March, or as we go forward, maybe I'll do it. But yeah, just be around, stick around, and whenever it's ready, you are going to see it definitely. Okay, bye bye now. Love you.